You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. I hope you're for the brain bleed. Because I'm clearly been bleeding here for a while. I'm probably in full some sort of atosis, whatever. I have no idea what science means. Anyway, guys, we have an amazing author on the show. Lexi Blake is on the show. She's a prolific romance writer and writes for amazing books. And we'll get into her library and everything else that's going on there. As always, we guilt you at the beginning of the show with a little bit of shaming to refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com. There's amazing stuff over there. Brilliant authors post their stuff on goodreads.com. You can interact with them over there. They're not paying for this advertisement, but I'm just a little bored with doing the plugs, so I figured I'd extend one a little bit. Go to youtube.com, where they have crazy videos and then smart videos like ours that you'll learn stuff. And then go to linkedin.com/Chris Voss. Subscribe to the newsletter over there. And that's where all the smart people really are when it comes down to it. And on the Chris Voss Show podcast as well. I should admit our audience is pretty brilliant. So we'll get into Lexi Blake and her amazing books. But first, we want to do a little monologue comedy here to cover. This is from the AP News, Associated Press, if you can't spell AP. And the news topic today is a cocaine cat escaped its owner and will now live at the Cincinnati Zoo. What's going on in this world, folks? We got cocaine cats. We've got the cocaine bear, which is running through movie theaters right now. Is there like a problem that we need to address in America where, there's so many of us that evidently have a drug problem that it's now moved on to our pets? Like, what's going on there? And where are these animals getting money for cocaine? Like, is this why they're rummaging through my garbage and stuff like that? Like, I mean, who's crossing this over where it's actually an African serval cat. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but he had cocaine in his system. They actually, this is the first time that the city animal PCA or whatever has found animals with cocaine. They found a monkey that had meth in his system. I don't know what's going on, but clearly I'm surprised this isn't happening in Florida. I think that's my biggest issue. Like, how is this happening in Cincinnati? This sounds like something that should happen in Florida. Somebody should check those gators for cocaine because they got a big nose and they could probably do a lot. Anyway, don't do cocaine, people. That's the PSA of the show. Anyway, onward and forward. Lexi Blake is once again on the show. Her newest book, Bayou Beloved, Butterfly Bayou series, is coming out on March 28th, 2023 as a beautiful, I believe that's a Labrador on the cover. We'll have to find out if it's into cocaine, I guess. We got her on the show. We're going to be talking about her amazing books and some of the things that she writes. She writes a lot of stuff in the romance genre. So those of you who are the ladies out there will probably enjoy our conversation with her. She is a New York Times best-selling author. She lives in North Texas with her husband and 3 kids. Since starting her publishing journey in 2010, she sold over 3 million copies of her books. She began writing at a young age, concentrating on plays and journalism. It wasn't until she started writing romance that she found success, and she likes to find humor in the strangest places and believes in happy endings. Well, evidently, the cocaine cat probably had a few too. Welcome to the show, Lexi. How are you?
Thank you. And I'm utterly fascinated by all the cocaine animals.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think we as a society must face this.
Mm-hmm. I
can't wait for a cocaine alligator. Maybe a cocaine shark.
Cocaine sharks? I mean, there was that one crazy, what was that shark series movie, Sharknado?
Oh yeah, Sharknado. It was amazing. Like, see, they didn't understand science either.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, science be damned. I realize that Hollywood is sometimes accused of being out of ideas, and they did the cocaine bear. But now I guess you got the cocaine cat. serval cat. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start drug checking my pets.
No cocaine is going to be found in any of the animals in Bayou Beloved. They are cocaine-free.
There you go. Just a beautiful Labrador on the cover. So give us your .coms, Lexi, wherever you want people to find you on the interwebs.
I'm on pretty much all the social medias as author Lexi Blake. My website is lexiblake.net.
There you go. And how many books have you written there? You have a lot of books.
I think I'm at 105 right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It took me 54 years to put up my first book. And at this pace, it'll be another 54. I'll be 108 for the second book. So
it took me a long time.
You're killing it.
But then it's like I took all that energy that I wasted in my 20s and 30s, and just like shoved it all in.
There you go. Well, so did the cocaine cat and the cocaine bear.
That's right.
So
maybe there's cocaine involved.
Maybe you drink a lot of coffee. That's usually my drug of choice. So Lexi, what motivated you want to write this recent book? You did 110. You're just like, fucking doing
contract? No. I did have a contract and I was supposed to write it, but what I find is I usually come up with an idea. This is the 6th in a series. So I have this group of characters that I've already written and who play in the background in the other books. So usually one of them comes up and says, hey, it's my turn to have a book. And in this particular one, it was the lawyer in the book.
Mm-hmm. It's
a very small town. There's one lawyer. And so I thought, wouldn't it be fun to give him another lawyer to bounce off of?
Sure. Do you normally write about lawyers, or I know
I am more known for writing about spies.
Spies, you say. So what? This is part of a series, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it's the Butterfly Bayou.
Bayou. Yeah.
Okay. What is the overview of the Butterfly Bayou series? If I can...
it's basic. It's what we call small town romance. So the world building all takes place in this tiny little town that I like to world build the same way I would an urban fantasy or a fantasy book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously we're not going to have magic or anything, but we have places and the town has a feel and it becomes kind of a character. Mm-hmm. In this particular case, it's in southern Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So it's got a kind of Cajun feel to it. And then you go through characters and in this particular one, everybody has a dog.
Everybody has a dog, which everyone probably should. The more I get to know people, the more I like dogs. Yeah. But I like you, Lexi. You're awesome. The present company, whatever that line is, present company excluded. So give us an overview, a 30,000 view of the plot of your newest book.
So basically, Quaid is a lawyer who has been working in town. He comes from a very wealthy family. He kind of took over. His dad was the lawyer for the town before. Jayna comes from a very poor background. She got out of the town, became a lawyer, was big in New Orleans, and then lost everything in a divorce, and circumstances happened. And now she's living back with her mom. And she ends up taking on this crazy case. And he's the opposing counsel. And so that's kind of where we start from.
There you go. And so it's a romance novel. So I'm fixated on the dog. And a legal thriller. And a legal thriller. There you go. So it's like a romance version of, what was that one with Vinny and
My Cousin Vinny?
Yes. My Cousin Vinny, yeah.
A little more like that.
Only maybe more romantic. Maybe, I don't know. Lovely. So they end up, and this guy is her high school.
Yes, they knew each other in high school, although he doesn't actually remember her. Which does not necessarily endear him to her again. She had a huge crush on him in high school. Now, of course, she walks back in and he's like, well, hello. And she's like, no. Yeah. Because her plan is she's going to get back out of town. She's going to clear up all this mess and then she's going to leave.
And then they fall in love? maybe?
Of course.
Of course. Wow.
And she's got a lot to deal with her mother. So she's kind of got a lot to deal with from her. She kind of has to figure out why she had struggled so much in town. And some of that is her. Some of that was her. And this is a lot of me processing my childhood. I do a lot of therapy in my books.
Oh, really?
I do. Enormous amount.
I think that's what I do on Facebook. I do a lot of therapy. I just let it all bleed out, and everyone goes, "You're really messed up." That's and in the podcast too. We use the podcast for therapy as well. I don't know. I think it's a narcissist delivery or something for me. So so this is a thing where she's basically going to someone she had a crush on, and more romance than ever. What do you feel kind of separates this from some of your other novels?
I think this one is much more. This whole series is more family drama. I usually write these kind of big international thriller style romances where the fate of the world is happening, and when I need a convenient dramatic thing to happen, I just blow something up. It's a lot harder when you can't blow anything up.
Yeah, I think Michael Bay does that.
Human drama.
I think Michael Bay does that in his movies a lot too. Yeah. Just blow something up.
Just blow something up. And then you talk about the feelings that people had when something blew up.
Yeah. I just blow up the feelings. That's what I do. I'm into that.
Yeah.
I do that on Facebook as well. So this is an interesting tie-in because I didn't plan this when I was doing the cocaine alligator joke, but there's actually a bit of a story in here about an alligator and your characters. Can you tell us if there was cocaine involved and expand on that a little bit?
There is. His name is Otis, and he is what you got to understand. I don't know if you've ever been to quirky little Gulf Coast towns in the South. There's a lot of quirkiness. My best friend grew up there. I spent some time down there. So this is like, New Orleans, and then you keep going south. So there is a lot of quirkiness around there. And so they have a town alligator named Otis, and he kind of runs through all the books. And I mean, he's almost like at times it's like he knows, like he is a romantic and he knows when to lay across the only road leading out of town to stop the hero who has misunderstood the heroine.
Wow.
So yeah, he's kind of a, what do they call it? A Deus Ex Machina. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What is that?
It's a reference to, in a play, you would the god would come down and solve all the problems in old Greek plays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for that to happen in my life.
I also have a thieving raccoon.
A thieving raccoon?
Yes, his name is Brian. And he steals cell phones.
I think by the nature of raccoonry is thievery.
I might be stereotyping the raccoon. I just realized that.
I mean, have you checked with their community because you might be offending them?
I probably should.
Probably. I mean, you shouldn't shame them for being thieves, even though they technically are. I used to have a whole nest of raccoons come into my canyon home, and they would not come into my home. They weren't welcome or invited, but they would steal the dog food out of the dog pen that was in the backyard. And they were just little thieves. They were into everything. So we have clarification. Were any of the raccoons or alligators involved in the story on cocaine? I suppose we need to ask that.
They were all cocaine free. All of their criminality probably comes from a really rough background.
Yeah, and probably childhood trauma or something. Yeah. Maybe the bog they were in just was a ghetto bog or something. I don't know. There's a joke there somewhere. So there's not much we can, of course, disclose. What are you using the same characters in the Bayou or in this Butterfly Bayou series, or are these all different characters as people read them through?
No, they're very much a recurring cast of characters. So in this particular one, the hero first shows up in the very first book in the series, where he's basically, it's a bunch of the men of the town who have a poker night once, and they do a lot of talking during their poker night, and Quaid happens to be one of the guys there. So he's been hanging around for a long time.
You ever thought about writing children's books, on the thieving raccoons? That sounds like one of those Dr. Seuss sort of books, maybe, that could go that way.
Could be.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll send you a contract over to get some royalties off that.
Right. And maybe I can post something up in those books.
That's 110 books right there.
That's right.
Dr. Seuss and the thieving raccooneries. Maybe the reason they're thieving raccoons is they're stealing for cocaine money. That could be that.
Oh my God. You might have just cracked this open.
I didn't even plan any of this tie into the monologue, so I don't know. Just got.
Hey, I can work a cocaine bear into everything. I'm going to tell you, in my June book that's already done, I have a cocaine bear reference. I am fascinated by cocaine bear.
There you go. It's interesting how that has caught on, and I guess that's why this other story hit the AP, because people just like the idea of a cocaine bear going crazy, and I guess that's based on a true story a little bit too. So I don't know, man, what's going on in the world. Anything more we should know about your protagonists in here and what they're up to?
Well, the funny thing is the actual court case that this whole thing is surrounding. I take a lot from my actual real life. Mm-hmm. So in this court case, basically, the plaintiff is very angry that the defendant has taken down a tree that is technically in his property. He runs a gas station, and she has a house. She just has a house that's behind the gas station. So he takes down the tree, and now all of the gas station lights come into her house. And her ground is a little higher up. So she decides so she loses the first case because it's there. And then she decides, you know what? This is Geraldine, and she is 78 years old. Mm-hmm. She decides that if he can do all of that and he can take away her tree that hides everything, she will have nude parties.
Oh.
And so she brings all her friends over. And so the second case is the defendant trying to get her to shut down her nude parties because it's scaring away his gas station customers.
And how old is she again?
Well, she is 78.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Well, you still got some looks at 78.
Yes. So it's very quirky and very but this all came about because one day I didn't realize how close I lived behind a gas station because of the trees. This really happened to me. I did not have the parties.
You didn't have the nudist parties in response?
I just yelled and screamed about it.
Well, there's still time. So
I'm thinking that would run away his gas station. It really would.
Yeah.
But
I should.
So that's me taking stuff from real life.
Well, this is definitely an interesting romance novel. If there's somebody running nudist parties at their house, that's a whole new level of romance.
Oh, people who read me would not be surprised.
Really? So is this a recurring thing?
This is an everyday thing for me.
Wow. All right. Well, this is why you're popular and you put out a lot of books. Yeah. Evidently, you have a huge nudist colony
following. Hopefully. They're all welcome.
That's okay. I like this. We're expanding the audience in the Chris Voss show. We're going to have a nudist colony. People are going to,
and hopefully some cocaine bears will pick this up.
Yeah, I think we already have an addiction service there. We had a few people on that run addiction recovery services. We should put an ad for this at the end of the thing. If you're a bear or cat, and you think you're tired of the ups and downs of the cocaine partying, you call this 1-800 number.
That's right.
For late night.
Other bears are here to help you. You are not alone.
You're not alone. There's other bears in the thing. But maybe the bear is just trying to get out of hibernation. He's like, hey, I don't want to go to sleep, man. So I'm going to take some cocaine all winter and get through this, and then I'll just party while everyone's asleep. Sounds like what I do in Vegas late at night. Anyway, I don't know what that means, but this is a pretty interesting story. So she has a nudist party, and
she just feels, because one of the things they say is, nobody's stopping you from. Her thing is, I want him to put up a new tree. Oh. And he's like, nobody's doing that. Nobody's stopping you from being in your backyard. Nobody. And so she's like, okay, fine. And Nobody's stopping her.
I would sue her for having to be the person who walks by and sees the nudist party.
Technically, in Louisiana, I believe you are allowed to be whatever you want in your backyard as long as you have a fence.
Yeah. See, that's why I haven't traveled through the South. I saw the movie Deliverance, and I've been scarred ever since. So I avoid any place that has a slang that says "you got to put her mouth, boy." I stay away from any of that. So I avoid that in Florida, pretty much specifically. I don't. It's a lovely place with wonderful people. We've lost all 5 listeners in Florida, evidently, that aren't on meth. Anyway, that aren't on the bath salts. Anyway, I don't know why this turned into a drug show with a drug recurring.
I don't know, because the funny thing is, one of the characters in this, his brother, the hero's brother, actually has an addiction problem that he is solving, he is working through, and that's part of like the family drama, is that he and his brother like repair their relationship, and here I am. Yeah,
I think we all need to go on rehab at this point. Yeah, I'm going to be selling the show
for something. We're all addicted to something.
And a lot of people are addicted to your books, and reasonably so. Now, one thing I noticed when I went to your website, I was trying to figure out which book is the newest book that's being released. You have a lot of books coming out. Do you want to plug those away?
Do. So I had a book called, this book is Bayou Beloved. I have to do this. My publicist would tell me to do that. And then I have a book called Unexpected Bliss coming in May that is set in my quirky Colorado town called Bliss, Colorado. And I have a book called Tempted coming out. That's with my spies and then the other 2 books I have coming out this year are, one is Start Us Up, which is kind of a women's fiction. And then I start a new series called, the series is Masters and Mercenaries, and the book is called Love the Way You Spy.
Ah, Love the Way You Spy. There's some other new releases. The Dom Who Came In From the Cold.
Yes, that was my February release that finished off Masters and Mercenaries Reloaded.
Yeah, we were joking before the show that a lot of these spies run around with their shirts open.
Yes.
So, the Rebel Guardian, I guess.
That was last year.
Ah, Far From Bliss.
Yeah, that's an urban fantasy series, so it's a little different from the other stuff I do. So,
and you've got a lot of book series going. Like, we have authors on that, they've only done like 60 books, and they'll have like 2 or 3 lanes of book series that they're doing. You've got a lot going on. I
let my brain kind of go where it wants to go. The urban fantasy is actually the reason I started writing again. I had written when I was younger. I wrote like 1 book every 10 years in my 20s, 30s. Well, no, 1 book I wrote 3 books between my 20s and my 30s. Then I ended up having my 3rd child, which was supposed to be, I nearly died on the table, and I swear something happened. When I got back, I wrote 9 books that year.
Wow.
With an infant child. And those books were the Thieves books, which were my urban fantasy series. So that series got me back into writing. My husband was like, you have to either do something with this, or like, this can't just be like, you need to do something with this. So that's when I started publishing. He actually, the way he motivated me, because he is a lovely, amazing man, but he said, this is starting to feel like me playing EverQuest. And I was like, oh no, sir, this is not EverQuest. And so I found a publisher.
Well, it's great. You've developed quite the fan base and quite the audience, and I'm sure they eat up all your stuff as soon as it comes out.
They seem to enjoy it. I like the spoil. We do a little spoiler zone. Because I love a good twist, and I always like for them to get to the twist.
So is the twist usually at the ending? It's like one of those M. Night Shyamalan movies?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's about right in the middle, where you find out that the person you thought they were is really a counter agent, or
this happens on a lot of my dates. The person you find out differently.
Yeah, it's like Tinder for spies.
It's like Tinder for spies. There you go. Are spies your favorite topic you like to write about?
I have done it so long that it feels easiest for me to write that way. And Lord knows the world gives you enough to work in, to work in realistically in a book. So I think that's kind of almost my happy place, but I also really enjoy taking the break and getting to write some other stuff.
There you go. Do any of the spies have pets that have cocaine problems?
I think they should. We don't know. Maybe that's the next twist.
I'll send over a contract for the royalties on the next book if you cut that. Well, this has been really insightful, Lexi. Anything more you want to tease out about the newest books or whatever else you have coming up here in the future?
I'm really excited about the August book. I finished, and I'm going to finish it tomorrow. Yay. This is this is with a small press, so they can get a book out faster than the years that it takes. I wrote Bayou Beloved way back, but it's called Start Us Up, and I'm really excited about writing its first person present tense, and it's got a lot to do with the tech world and kind of what it means to be a woman in that kind of world, and I'm excited about that.
You should incorporate that Chat GPT. That's like really popular right now.
It is about AI.
Yeah, there you go.
Working on an AI at the time. Yeah,
it's like no one will shut up about it on my Facebook page.
But see, now I worry that I'm making it out to be like this really nice AI. So that's the way AI would look in this particular women's fiction world. Whereas if it was in Masters and Mercenaries, that AI would be taking over the world.
Yeah, there you go. You make it evil because everyone bets that it's going to become evil eventually. When
of course it will. Yeah. There is no question. When are we going to get an AI on cocaine?
Yeah, there you go. AI on cocaine. That's my new. Hey, somebody Google AIcocaine.com. It's probably sold out because some gang who jacked up on coke bought it. But no, I mean that would be funny, man. And it's like sniffing a lot the whole time, rubbing its nose.
That's right.
It's giving you whatever texture you're gonna do. So this would be pretty awesome. I'm sure your fans will love it and they'll look forward to it. Lexi, give us your .com so people can find you on the interwebs, please.
Like I said, it's lexiblake.net is my actual website address. And then I'm on all the socials as author Lexi Blake.
There you go. Lexi, thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it. It's been fun having you. There you go. And thanks to my audience for tuning in. And as always, PSA, boys and girls, stay away from drugs. They're bad for you, especially, the marijuana ones. Don't do that. I wouldn't. But the other stuff, stay away from the hard stuff. Just stick to coffee and tea and you make good positive affirmations and stuff. I don't know. Do whatever you want, people. Just don't hurt other people. That's all we ask. She is the author of the latest book to come out, March 28th, 2023, Bayou Beloved, part of the Butterfly Bayou series by Lexi Blake. Pick it up wherever fine books are sold, and if you order it now, you can beat your book club where you can tell them you read it first. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. Stay off cocaine, especially with your pets, and we'll see you next time.